A few years ago, I joined a new sporting team and it was my first week of training and I wanted to make friends. So I saw someone who was sitting by themselves and I went over and I talked to them. And the conversation went all right at the start, but pretty quickly it went downhill because at the time I was super awkward and I knew this. I knew that my chances weren't great, but I had to try. But it just wasn't working. The conversation, it just really ended straight away and I just had to just walk away and I was really upset. I was like, come on, like, how have I already messed this up? Like, it's not even 5 minutes into training. There's like 20 people here who I'm supposed to be making friends with, and first one and I've already just messed it up in like not even a minute. So it was a little bit depressing. Of course, I look back now and realize that I wasn't actually unlikable. I was just making some mistakes and to do with my confidence that were really hindering my ability to connect with people. So what were those mistakes? Well, if you're not confident, there's really two things you have to fix. So let me explain. When you are talking to people or whenever you're doing anything actually, you experience stuff, right? So something happens and then you interpret that. So you think what happened and what do people think of me for what just happened? And then you make a judgment based on that. So you feel either happy or sad or whatever based on the information you have. And if you're not confident, the issue can be with your perception of like what's going on and what's happening, what other people think of you, or it can be with how you then judge that, how you feel based on your perception, whether you feel happy if people like you or sad or whatever. So that's pretty obvious, like most people know that, but really people don't really get which of them is more dominant and, you know, how to fix them and all that stuff. But let me give you an analogy. So imagine that there's a blue dog and that you see that blue dog. So the experience is just there is a blue dog. Your perception, let's say you're wearing some red glasses. This is like your social anxiety or whatever. You see the dog now as purple because of the glasses. That's your perception. And then let's say you are scared of purple dogs. That's your, you know, your beliefs, I guess. That is going to mean that you feel scared, right? Even though it's a blue dog, it's harmless. It's your perception. Now, if you were to fix that perception, take off the social anxiety glasses, you would see, oh, it's just a blue dog, nothing to be afraid of. Alternatively, you can just remove your fear of purple dogs. And that way it doesn't matter with what's on with the glasses. You look at a blue dog and it's just, who cares? So in this situation, the glasses is your perception, which is your social anxiety might skew your perception of what's happening. And then let's say someone actually doesn't like you or whatever, you perceive that they don't like you. Your kind of confidence also is determined by how you respond to that. So do you go, oh no, damn, they don't like me, really? I'm gonna go die now. Or do you go, oh yeah, well, who cares, honestly, like, it's just whatever. So if you're watching this video, chances are, because most people I think have this, you underestimate the effect of the perception being wrong. So you might think like, well, obviously my perception is not screwed. Like, what? I don't have glasses on. I see like what's happening and these people don't like me. Well, that may be true or it may not. So let's do this test, right? Next time you are talking to someone and you feel like they don't like you or they feel like you've just done something wrong in some way, try and find some evidence that you have done something wrong or that they don't like you. If you can't find concrete evidence, maybe they're not thinking that at all. Maybe they don't dislike you. Or maybe they do, but less than you're thinking. Basically, if someone literally says to you, you're very awkward right now and I don't like that, then your perception is accurate. But if they say anything other than that, you really don't know. So just be a little bit careful with what you're assuming here. Remember, like, you don't judge people that harshly, do you? So why would they judge you more harshly than you judge other people? This is low-key very hard as well. Like, I'm still working on my perception. So once you fix this, you now have a lot less to be afraid of and a lot less that's like, you know, bringing down your confidence. All there is now to do is when you do actually have people not like you and stuff, how do you then still not let that get you down, you know? How you do that is by letting go, accepting. I think accepting people not liking you is very similar to absurdist philosophy, brought to popularity by Albert Camus. Now, I'm no expert, I'm no philosopher, but absurdism, at least I think, kind of is saying like, there is no meaning to the universe, right? It's absurd, and you will never find any meaning. So you have to just accept that there is no meaning, and in doing that, and keep going about your day basically, and in doing that you'll find happiness or whatever. And similarly, it is a fact of the universe that people are not going to like you, and you just have to accept that. Don't try and fix it, don't try and get people to like you, don't try and ignore the fact, just actually accept it. The analogy isn't perfect, I know, because like some people have found meaning in the universe, right? And some people say there is meaning. But anyway, I was just on a bit of an absurdism tangent when I was planning this video. So in this way, I guess you could say that happiness and confidence are kind of linked. Like, I've found that since I've become better at accepting, I've become more confident, but I've also become more happy. So that's a bonus, you know? If you working on your confidence, you might also become happier. I'll take it. So what do you actually have to accept? You have to accept not everyone's gonna like you. You're gonna suck at some things initially, and sometimes you're just gonna mess up. Now that's pretty basic advice and easier said than done, but how do you actually accept everything, accept that people don't like you, etc.? You do it by actually having to face it. So if you're in your room all day, you're not going to, you know, be judged and feel embarrassed and all that stuff, and you're not going to be able to practice accepting it. So you have to feel embarrassment to then accept that not everyone's going to like you. And it is a journey you have to go through yourself. I can't just tell you everything and fix it straight away. You have to just repeatedly do this, and it comes with time. But here is some things that you might work for you that you can tell yourself, because they worked for me, but you'll have to come up with more than these, because you'll have to find ones that work for yourself. So I tell myself, like, some people don't even like themselves. So if they don't like you, like, that's on them. That's their problem. And similar to that, if you don't like someone and they don't like you, like, that's fair enough, because you're clearly different people. So if people you don't like you, good, like, who cares? Another one is, like, you can't actually change whether they like you or not, right? So you might as well accept it and be happy, because it's kind of like stoicism, more philosophy, I know. Like, you can't change what's happening, all you can change is your response to it. And if you make your response good and you put effort into being happy and stuff, then you're literally just being happy regardless of what's going on in the world around you, which is a good thing to get to, you know, it's good. And one more, you can't rush this process. Like, there's a certain amount of failures you have to go through with anything that you're not confident at before you'll get good. Or, like, this doesn't apply so much for people liking you, but for you, like, embarrassing yourself, messing up, doing badly. The faster you just go through those things, the faster you'll get good at the thing, or the faster I guess this works for confidence, the faster you'll become confident. And then you won't have to deal with this issue anymore. So don't procrastinate, don't wait, just do it. Do those reps as many times as you can, so you can fix the problem as fast as you can. And then the amount of time that you have to deal with, like, sucking in embarrassment and all that stuff, is shorter. Attempting one that I literally keep thinking, and I have to remind myself not to think, is don't think, I'm going to act this way because then people will like me. You know, I'm going to become confident, I'm going to act like I don't care because then people will like me. Because really, you're doing this, yes, so that people can like you, but also for yourself. It doesn't work if your underlying reason for becoming confident and not caring is so that people will like you, you know? You can't stop caring what people think so that people like you, because that's literally caring what people think. Other reasons to become confident is if you're not anxious, you're not worrying all the time, you will just have more fun. It'll be less energy, you know, you'll be happier. That is the reason you want to give for becoming more confident, not so that other people will like you, although it will help with that. Sorry, I don't know why I can't talk today. Anyway, guys, you have to first take off the glasses. So fix your perception. See, what am I on about? First, you have to fix your perception. Make sure that you're not over exaggerating things, and you do that by practicing. Whenever you feel like someone's saying something bad, think, is that actually true? Once you've done that, or kind of at the same time, you also have to work on thinking, if that is true, does it really matter? If people don't like me, does that really matter? You'll live, really, and you just have to accept it. Then you'll overcome that, and then you'll become confident. Now, another issue that unconfident people commonly face is that they're like introverts or something. So I have a video explaining how to fix that right here.